Hey, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're tuning in from today. I'm Paul. I'm Pinpoint's head of customer success here in the US, and I'm joined by a couple of new faces. So if you tune in every month, you're used to seeing Ed here. I've got two new faces. Dave is our head of AI. He'll be joining us today, as well as Elvin, who's our head of design. And we're going to walk through a couple of new features in the product today and something coming here in the future. So each month we host these, walk you through what's new in Pinpoint, share a few tips to help you get the most value from the product. And sometimes we'll give a sneak peek, which is what we'll be doing today as we wrap up this session. I'm going to hand it over to Dave to get us started. He's going to walk through our newest feature that just launched here in the last few days. So Dave, take it away.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you for everyone who's taken the time out of your day to join us. So the main feature that I was wanting to talk to all of you guys about today is AI Notetaker. We've had a lot of requests over for this over several months, and I'm pleased to announce that we actually released this tail end of last week, and it is open for you guys to start using. The way it works, and I'll show you an interview with an actual summary and transcript now, and then I'll go through just a quick little setup. Very simple to set it up. But I have this candidate here that has actually had an interview where I was using our AI Notetaker. So the AI Notetaker is an agent that will come and join on either Google Meets, Zoom, or Teams. We had a lot of questions just briefly that I'll address now previously on who we work with to make this happen. We actually use one of our main sub-processors that we've been working with for at least 6 years now. They actually do all of our interview scheduling, so they're kind of at the heart of all of the scheduling logic and are a key sub-processor with us already. They use a model that is called DeepGram, and they self-host all of this large language model themselves, so it completely stays within their infrastructure as well. This is a really key part for when we went out to market to look at who we could work with to deliver this product. So the way it works, you go and set up your interview as you normally do. I'll show you in a minute. Very easy to toggle it on or off when setting up an interview. That agent, which is a Pinpoint branded agent that will turn up and it will be named Pinpoint Notetaker, will come and ask to be admitted into whichever conference call system you're using. You can either choose to admit it, or you can do, the niceties at the beginning of an interview, or just double check whether someone's happy to have the call recorded. Assuming that all goes through and you actually have the agent come to the interview, it will then, about a minute or two after the interview, you will see this AI summary and transcript as ready. And I've just clicked on view, and it gives me the full transcript here that is fully searchable. So I can go and have a look at something around values, for instance, or it could be any mention of salary or previous experience. And you can search through the transcript. So this is really the rawest form of the interview itself. We then overlay a summary on top of the transcript. So this is now back within Pinpoint. And we are basically giving you guys a synopsis with key timestamps as to where these things were discussed that you can click into, and you can actually see where the summary actually relates to. So that's kind of part one. Great to have the transcript. Amazing to have a summary now, that you guys can actually just focus on the interview itself and kind of building that connection with the applicant. But we have gone a step further, and within scorecards now, we will display, if you choose to, we have this toggle here, show AI notes, which will actually display key parts of that interview alongside the actual scorecard questions itself. And again, you've got these timestamps that you can go and reference and go and double check whether that does align with what the question was saying or whether the context is correct. We leave it up to the hiring managers, the interviewers, to actually still go and synthesize their thoughts on the interview, but just make sure that absolutely everything is captured. You don't have to spend ages trying to have that awkward conversation where you're trying to type, and it actually means that in the background, you've got this agent now fully transcribing and matching questions to the answers that the candidate was giving in the interview. So that's the main overview of it. We're talking the transcript using a very trusted and secure third party with our summary over the top of it. And then we are using our large language models, which are predominantly OpenAI, which is effectively looking at the questions on the scorecards and matching relevant parts of the interview to those questions. Little Easter egg here is that within the hiring copilots, which I'm sure lots of you guys may have seen already, we're building this out continuously, but also you can say something like, how was the interview? And we actually have all of the interview summary stored as context as well for hiring copilot. So it will now go away. And it's now gone through, looked at the interview, looked at the interview summary, and it's now coming back with a full synopsis of what happened. So you can actually be off on the applicant page. You don't need to be in the actual interview itself, whilst you're trying to synthesize some of the points that came out of an interview. In terms of the setup, there's just two quick ways that I'll show you. You can go through and manually, when setting up an interview, which I'm sure lots of you have and are familiar with the screen, you can go through, and once you set up the interviewing team and basically set up a conferencing host and provider, we then have this AI Notetaker toggle. So you can either have that toggled on for the interview or toggled off. For bulk interviews where you may want the AI Notetaker to be on as default, you can also use stage actions. So this is the same interview stage I was just demoing. And if you just go down to add a stage action, when you go to sending the interview invite, again, it needs a conferencing provider for us to enable AI Notetaker. But once you're set up here, you can then have AI Notetaker, and it will then go and add the agent to every call. Key thing to point out, the agent does not just turn up to an interview without permission. You always have to admit it to the call. So best practice is always making sure that people are comfortable and happy to be recorded before admitting the agent into the call. But also, if you're setting up manual time slots with candidates where you're actually picking the time and date, then again, if you're finding out that time and date that they can make, at that point, it's always prudent to make sure that they are happy. And then at this point, turn on AI Notetaker. Or if they've already expressed interest in not being recorded, you can then just turn this off, and the agent will then never be invited into the conference call for you to then admit. So that's a quick overview of all the functionality that we have to date. And Paul, I will hand over to you.
Yeah, great. A couple of things that I love to interview people, but the two things that I hate is I hate writing everything down while I'm doing it, because I do feel like it's really disrespectful when I'm like hammering away on the keyboard. And I also hate like having to score it and decipher all of the things that I wrote down very sloppily during the interview. Solves both of my problems. So very excited about this feature. To get ahead of some of the questions in the chat, I just want to say AI Notetaker is not included in the current subscription. It functions off Pinpoint credits. If you haven't had a chance to look at Pinpoint credits before, and that's a new concept to you, it's an opportunity to take advantage of a host of new products that we've shown recently. So that's reference checks, background checks, the AI Notetaker you just saw, and soon one-way video interviews, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it's a consumption-based model functionally, very easy to get started with. You'll just need to buy a block of credits from us and use them as you see fit. So if you need more information on that, please feel free to reach out to your customer success manager. With that, I'm going to introduce Elvin. Elvin, if you want to pop on and walk us through a little bit on document templates and multiple signers.
Cool. Yeah, thanks very much, Paul. Hello, everyone. So there's actually two things I'm going to walk through. And the first one, as Paul mentioned, is basically a new type of document template we've got now live in the platform, which is called the Merge, Fill, and Sign document template. This essentially is a type of document that will allow you to collect legally binding e-signatures from multiple parties, all in the same kind of single document or as part of like a single signing workflow. So the example I'm going to be running through is for an employment contract, which requires signatures from both the candidate and also a HR or legal director. And I'm going to demo this in three parts. So firstly, how to actually configure the document. The second part, how to send this to a candidate or to the signers from the ATS of the recruitment side of the platform. And then lastly, how this works in onboarding as well, if that's where you want to be managing that process from. So to kind of kick us off, so how to kind of configure the document. So this is my test platform. I've got nothing in here apart from this one document template, so it probably looks a lot cleaner than a lot of your platforms do. But I've got one set up already, which I'll just walk through just to demonstrate kind of how this looks. And in fact, if I come back out of here, you'll notice now if you go to create a new document type, a document template type, we've got this additional type listed here, which is merge, fill, and sign. So if I just jump back first straight into here. So in this example, there's you can see there's multiple steps that you need to go through to get this set up. The first one is sort of the basic details for the document, so the name, actually uploading the document as well. Optionally kind of defining the scope where you want this document within your org structure to apply. And then the next step is defining the signers. So by default, every document has to be sent to the candidate. So that will appear by default, but then you can add as many signers as you want, up to a maximum of 3 additional signers. So you can see here, I've already got one set up here, which I've called them legal director, and I've set a custom email for that signer. If I go ahead and add another one, or just show you what that looks like. So you'll define the role of the signer, and then you can pick from a couple of different options of determining who that signer is. So in this example, I've basically selected custom email, and I've typed their email address. So this is useful for anyone who's not a user within the Pinpoint platform, sorry. So you could, in theory, send this to any email address. But otherwise, you might want to pick a specific user that's a user set up in Pinpoint, or pick a variable, which essentially is a field kind of attached to the associated job. So, for example, the hiring manager, recruit manager, and also any user type custom field on the job as well. So it sort of gives you flexible options for determining who those signers are. I'll just cancel this one and then move on to the next step, which is configuring the fields for the signers. So for each signer, you get 3 types of fields sort of by default that you can add to documents. And then you're free to create as many kind of or different fields as you need for each signer to either fill in or provide their signature in. So here I've added a field called full name, and I've added full name as a field for both signers, so both the candidate and the legal director that's up in the previous step. And then the next step is actually configuring the document. So the reason why this type of document is called merge, fill, and sign is that it also gives you the opportunity to place not just the kind of fields for signers to fill in, for kind of variables to merge information dynamically every time you send a document. So, for example, you can see here in my document, I've got some variables here, company, location, address. So these will be dynamically populated every time this document is sent out based on the values of these variables, essentially. So that in that way, I can basically create a kind of fully dynamic document that will kind of pre-populate specifically to each candidate every time it gets sent, as well as providing those fields for the signers to fill in as well. So the way to actually add those fields is using what we call signer field variables. So these are sort of similar to the kind of the merge, the docx data variables that merge information in, but they'll always sort of start with signer as a sort of prefix, followed by the name of the role, and then followed by that kind of the identifier for us to determine who that or the type of field that is and who it's for. So if I scroll down in this document, I can see a bunch of kind of variables that I mentioned earlier that will get pre-populated when this is sent. And then at the bottom, I've created a few sections for where I want my signers to fill in information. Typically, the sort of best practice here is to use kind of tables or columns to kind of lay out your fields, just so that you kind of maintain more consistent control over the kind of the size and the placement of the fields, because it's they're essentially variable strings. It means you've got a little bit of like flexibility in terms of having different dynamic kind of layouts in terms of your content, whereby if you merge information here, that might push the page content down a bit. So just using tables just gives you better control over where those fields end up appearing. If I make a change to this document, I'll need to essentially then save that. So you do that within this kind of configuration window by clicking the save button here. And then click next. And then in this step, we'll get a summary of the signing workflow, who this document will be sent to, and then we'll do some validation just to check that there's nothing or there's no issues that we can detect within how you've placed your variables, or you might have missed certain variables, etc. You also can get the opportunity to preview that, so that will generate a kind of a dummy version of that filled document. So you'll see it sort of populated some of the variables with dummy content, and then if I scroll down, you'll see where the kind of the signature fields and the fields for the signers to fill in will appear. So that is essentially setting up the document template. If I now jump into the recruitment side of the platform, and I pop into a stage that I've set up for this demo. So for this candidate, I will offer this to the document tab. So this works in a very similar way, to existing types of documents. And you'll see here the contracts which I set up and also added to the hiring workflow for this job. I will now send that document to signers. I'll be given kind of an overview of what the signing workflow will look like. Click send documents, and then I as a candidate will receive that request. If I pop into here, it should appear momentarily. And then I will see the document, and within this document, I'll only see the fields that I need to sign. So you'll notice for the finance manager, that's left blank because those are the fields for the next signer. And then I can sign it, add a date. Oh, sorry, add my name, sorry. And then add today's date. And then what will happen is the next signer will receive a similar email where they'll open it and sign their fields. And then once all signers have completed that flow, they'll get sent a kind of a final signed copy of the document with the audit trail as well. So that's sending it from the ATS. From onboarding, kind of quite similar in terms of if you've sent documents from onboarding, it works in a very similar way. So I've got a process set up here where I've configured a step for the candidate to fill in this document, and I will just assign this candidate to a process that should trigger that step. And then if I jump back into my emails, I can see another email that comes through specifically pointing me to onboarding. That one is, I think that's the previous one actually, this one. So this is the onboarding portal. This is how it will appear within the onboarding portal for the candidate. Again, they'll open and sign the document, and it will appear in much the same way as it did in the recruitment side of the platform. So very straightforward, very simple for the candidate to fill in and sign the document, and then equally for subsequent signers as well to do the same thing. And that is the new document template type. The next feature that I want to do a quick sneak peek of is one-way video interviewing. So this is a feature that I think is currently in early access. So it will be going live, kind of a full launch at the end of this month. So I'll just give kind of a taste of what this feature looks like if you've not already kind of come across it or seen any of the comms that we've sent out. So essentially, this is a one-way video interview with our partner called Willow, where we kind of fully integrate the video interviewing process within Pinpoint, so you don't need to leave the platform in order to conduct one-way video interviews. And all the responses from candidates will come directly straight into Pinpoint for you to review them and kind of conduct initial screening and that kind of thing. So this is just an example video interview stage I've set up. I've got 2 candidates in at the moment, one of which has completed a video interview. And I'll click into here just to show you what it will look like. So you can see here, I have responses that the candidate, which is actually me, has supplied for a bunch of video interview questions, sorry. And we can see the video. I can play back some kind of assessment in terms of scriptedness that Willow's AI engine will deliver back to us. So how natural does the candidate appear in their response? Time taken for the candidate to answer this question, and then a full kind of transcript from the candidate. So hiring managers, recruiters can review these responses. I can click through to from question to question, and then set up scorecards where I can kind of align my questions on the scorecards to the interview questions, and then kind of screen candidates and assess candidates against the video interview and different criteria in a consistent way. So that's just a really quick sneak peek at one-way video interviews. Paul, I'm back over to you.
Great. Thanks for everybody for their time. We'll be back again in June with another product spotlight webinar, and enjoy the rest of your Tuesdays, everybody. Thank you very much.